YouTube. Just out here in the shop with the Swamp Donkey. Doing a little tidying up. Looking at what I got left ahead of me here to get this thing finished up. I kind of thought I'd make a video here to bring you along for the update. I figured I'd try and get organized and start writing stuff down here so I got a better idea of what's left to do. It's not too bad, but I got to start checking stuff off the list here if I want to get this done. So let's go over what we got on the list here. The steering arm, trailing arm. I've got heim joints and everything in here, and all was good. But with the amount of articulation I get out of this front axle, everything here's got to move to accommodate that. And with this setup here being squeezed in between, you're not going to get a lot of movement before you're getting binding in these joint ends. And I did discover that on the trail on a couple occasions. So I want to take care of that. And my cure is going to be, sorry, cords. Look at them all tied up in the tractor. Anyway, we got some parts here. They're a lot like the stock rod ends on your lawn tractor, but these are full half-inch jobs, so I'm hoping they're going to be beefy enough. And they'll definitely give me a lot more movement where I need it. And for the rod, I'm going to use some, that's what, about 3/4 gas pipe. So I'm going to cut it to length. I'm going to round the heads off on the bolts so they'll fit inside the pipe. And then I can rosette weld all the way around it. I can do a couple plug welds. That should work out nice and strong. These are about 2.5, 3-inch bolts in here. So it'll give me lots of thread to make everything adjustable when I want to do the alignment. So that's coming up on the list here. I'll make a video of that when I weld it all together. Hook brakes to the clutch pedal. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory, but for some reason last season I had the factory band brakes disconnected from the clutch pedal. I wanted to make them separate. Well, I took a shortcut and I used a bicycle handbrake with a cable hooked to the band brakes. It just wasn't enough. There was too many pucker moments. You couldn't get enough leverage on the band to come to a complete stop on a hillside. It did slow you down, but not a complete stop. So that's definitely on the list. Now the rear bed supports, rear bumper. I don't think I've mentioned the rear bumper before. But I scored this nice piece of aluminum C. I think it'll make a nice rear bumper. And I'm going to make some rear support brackets for it underneath the back of the bed here. Coming up from the back plate on an angle up to my bracing that's already under there. Just to sturdy things up. And I'm going to make my bumper mounts come off of that. The bumper, I'm going to 45 the corners and wrap it so it wraps around the side equally all the way around. I think it'll give it a nice finished look, especially if I polish up that aluminum nice. It'll go with some of the other bright work I got going on here. We've bed tested this with 160 pounds in it, and it wasn't an issue. But I noticed after painting it and doing all the decorative crap that when I was building it here, when I had the floor out, it was really twisty with just the back and the two sides, and flexing and farting around and getting it into position there. I didn't notice that the weld had started to split here. So that's something I got to look after. And I'm hoping that the support brackets underneath will make sure that nothing like that continues or happens again. Let's see what else is on the list. Choke hookup. I got to do the choke hook to the dash, because this engine, for some reason, it doesn't matter how warmed up it is, when you go to restart it, it needs choke for a split second. The minute it fires, you can shut the choke off and away you go. So that's something that really frustrated me last year on the trail. Having to reach under the hood every time and manually work the choke. So that's on the list. Finish paint. I still haven't done anything with the dashboard, because I got to pull the whole thing apart, pull the steering column out, the works, to do it right. And it's been too cold to really do any paint work out here. I think that's why I was having problems with my last attempt with the side panel. I don't know if you can see, but it started wrinkling up when I put my first coat of clear on it. So I called off the painting for now until things warm up a little bit. But that's the only two panels left, is this side panel and the dash. So that won't be too bad. Rework the plow light brackets. Yeah, the eyeballs on top of the goofy smile, everybody says now. But I am going to put a plow on this, and I scored a good deal on these nice stainless steel lights. They're 55 watt halogens, and they've got mirrors built into the back of them. So after plowing the driveway in that, and they're heated mirrors, no less. Hence all the wires coming out of there. So I thought they work out good for plowing. I just kind of threw the brackets together to make them quick and easy to take off and on when I need them or wanted them. And I'm going to make the wiring connection like a 4-pin trailer plug wire on your truck or car. So it's quick release. But I do want to clean up these brackets. Everything was square. I didn't get too fancy. It was a rush job. I thought I was filming it when I was making all this stuff. And it turns out, no, I'd only turn the camera on, not hit record. So, but I can show you what I'm going to do to these to pretty them up so they don't look so squared and industrial. And the light bar itself, that was a piece of galvanized fence post, or I believe this piece might have been off of the frame from a backyard trampoline. It's about the same stuff. But I just welded nice heavy washers on the end of it to bolt the lights to, and I drilled a nice sizable hole underneath with a hole saw so you can get the end of the wrench in there to tighten the lights down, and a place for the wiring to come out. It worked out pretty good. I'm not going to keep them on there all the time, like I say. That's why I want the quick release stuff. But I think for plowing they'll work out just fine. What else is going on? Really not much else happening right now. Up the hood here. Oh, got my snorkel done. That was the last thing I did. They had them on sale cheap. It was about double the price of a stock air filter, just to replace the one that was in the stock air box. And you get a bunch of bonus miles with it. So I built a stack for it to get it up as high as I could. It just sits under the hood, maybe a 1/4 inch clearance. I made a base plate for it that fit the carb opening. I welded it around and then sealed it up with auto body seam sealer, and then sprayed it all with truck bed liner spray. So it should be nice and durable. On the inside of it, I just welded a tab across the pipe and drilled a hole through it, and I used the stock airbox stud with the wing nut to hold the stack itself on, and then the air cleaner just pipe clamps onto that. And that was just a piece of exhaust adapter, 2.5 to 3 inch, I believe it was, to fit the 3-inch inlet on the air cleaner. That should work out. I might have to put a splash shield on it if too much stuff is splashing up in that direction, but Other than that, it should be high and dry. There's a rubber gasket between the stack and the carb base there, so I'm hoping that should take care of any issues there. Nothing else under the hood. But, anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on what's been happening or not happening, or what I wish was happening and already done with. But I really want to get this thing outside here soon. I just got to wait for everything to thaw out from in front of the door so that I can kick the big door open and get this thing back out in the fresh air. But anyway, we'll take you along for the ride now that I know how to work some of this new camera gear I'm farting with, and we'll show you when I finish up the steering rod, and well, by the time the paint and everything's done, you're just gonna have to wait for the grand reveal video. This will likely be the last update to do with what's going on with this machine. The next one will probably be either a romp or introduce you to the next victim coming into the shop. Anyway, I want to say thanks for stopping by and checking things out. I'm looking to get all that scratched off the list right here soon, but we'll keep you posted. Anyway, you guys have yourself a great day. Leave some comments. Don't forget to thumbs up, and I appreciate your time. See you again. Ciao.